The same thing you do every days.
Try to take over the world. Good morning and welcome to another edition of U-News, where you can be the reporter. But you got to send in those reports, and if you do, you have a chance to win a beautiful Corn-Fed Life Tumbler.
Nothing tastes better than when it's drunk from a corn-fed tumbler.
That's right. So check the description below for the instructions on sending in your reports, which is very simple. All right. What stories do we have today?
Today, BB is back. There's a new world record set in Japan that's very unusual. And we have ourselves a cookie bear.
Woo! Sounds good. We're going to get into the top stories, but first, we got to check in with the countdown clock. The countdown to what? To the best sporting event on the planet, the FIFA World Cup soccer tournament. And it looks like we've got 16 days, 14 hours, 26 minutes, and 52 seconds till the ball rolls. So I hope you're all as excited as me.
I don't think that's possible.
If you're not, well then get excited because it's going to be awesome. It's in the Middle East this year, which they've never hosted a World Cup tournament, so it's kind of anybody's match. Because when they host it in Europe, it's almost always a European team that wins. And in Latin America, it can kind of go either way, but often Latin clubs have won. But in the Middle East, who knows? Nobody has home field advantage.
Egypt. It's going to be Egypt all the way.
I don't think so, but anyway. All right, let's get to the stories. A group of 178 people who are all named Hirokazu Tanaka gathered in Japan and broke the Guinness World Record for largest gathering of people with the same first and last name. The Same Name Association of Hirokazu Tanakas, founded in 1994, successfully broke the record in Tokyo's Shibuya ward after a previous attempt in 2011 gathered 71 people bearing the name, and a 2017 try gathered only 87 Hirokazu Tanakas. The event took the Guinness World Record from a gathering of 164 people named Martha Stewart in 2005. Each member of the association was known during the event by an alias based on their favorite food or hobby, including chewing gum, hot pot, and triathlon. Hirokazu Tanaka, 53, known during the event as Semi-Leader, founded the group after someone sharing his name was drafted by Nippon Professional Baseball's Osaka Kintetsu Buffaloes, now known as the Oryx Buffaloes, in 1994. I'm not sure I understand what I just read.
That's fun. I remember when I was back in the day, I've since quit Facebook, but I was on Facebook. I started a group.
Corinne Stansfield's.
Nope, it was the Corinne Andersons, and I got Corinne Andersons from all over the world.
Well, you did that with Corinne Stansfield after we were married, didn't you?
Or nope, maybe... sorry, it was only the Andersons.
Well, that's lame.
Okay, for our next story, we'll talk about something that's not lame at all. It is the return of Netanyahu. Former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday appeared set to return to power as head of Israel's most right-wing government ever after winning this week's national election, with the current caretaker prime minister conceding defeat. Final results showed Netanyahu's Likud party and its ultra-nationalist and religious partners capturing a solid majority in Israel's Knesset, or parliament. The strong showing promised to end the political gridlock that has paralyzed Israel for the past 3.5 years, but the planned agenda of the new government expected to take office, including an overhaul of the country's legal system and tough line against Palestinians, promises to further polarize a deeply divided nation and risks antagonizing Israel's closest allies abroad. I doubt that. I think it'll be fine. Israel on Tuesday held its fifth election since 2019 in a race like the previous four that was widely seen as a referendum on Netanyahu's fitness to rule as he faces corruption charges. While the previous races ended in deadlock, Netanyahu managed a disciplined campaign that gave him the edge over a divided and disorganized opposition. The acting Prime Minister Yair Lapid conceded defeat and called Netanyahu to congratulate him shortly before the final results were released. Lapid said he had instructed his staff to prepare an organized transition of power. He's getting organized now. The state of Israel comes before any political consideration, Lapid said. I wish Netanyahu success for the sake of the people of Israel and the state of Israel.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited that Netanyahu's back. I've always been a strong admirer of his, and I'm excited for Israel to have a good, strong leader that's pro-Israel running it.
Yeah. I wish we had a good, strong leader that was pro-America
yeah.
and pro-Israel.
Right.
It's interesting just to hear about Netanyahu because I remember hearing about him back in my high school days, and he's still around, and that was a long time ago.
Yep, they can't get rid of him, and I guess they don't want to.
Guess God's got plans for him.
That's right. And we're going to talk about a bear that had some sweet plans in store for his tummy.
Ooh, is that a honey bear?
It's a cookie bear.
A bear paid a visit to a cafe in California, and the Bruin was caught on camera stealing cookies before being ejected by the police. An employee at the Nestle Toll House Cafe by Chip at Heavenly Village in South Lake Tahoe captured photos and videos when a bear barged into the business about 7 p.m. Wednesday. The bear climbed onto a counter and ate some cookies while employees waited for police to arrive. After officers arrived, they were able to chase the bear out of the business. The bear was not the first to get into trouble due to its sweet tooth. A bear was caught on camera in September stealing cupcakes from a 2-year-old's birthday party in West Hartford, Connecticut. These bears, they like their sweets.
Yeah, well, they're known to like the honey, like you were saying.
Well, I'm glad nobody was hurt except the cookies.
Right. Yeah, they should make the bear into a mascot for Nestle now instead of the dove, because the bears seem to like the sweets a little bit more.
Yeah, plus if you eat a lot of Nestle, you look more like a bear than a dove.
That's true.
I don't know. That's what I think.
So what has been the hot news for corn-fed life lately?
Corn-fed Life have become hosts of Hunters. So we started renting part of our home as a quote-unquote hunting lodge, and we have a couple of hunters staying with us now. And they seem to be very polite, nice fellas, and they were really excited tonight because they think that they bagged a really big buck. So more news on that maybe on our next cast.
And on the West Coast, how do we judge the points on Iraq versus the East?
Yeah, on the West Coast, you just count one side of the rack. And so if it's got 5 points over here, it's a 5-point buck. But on the East, I guess they call it a 10-point.
That sounds better. I like counting more.
Sounds more exciting.
Yeah.
So if you're from the East and you go to the West and you're bragging about your 10-point, they're going to think you're lying for sure. Because they don't come with that many points if you're, multiplying both sides, because that would really mean 20.
Right. And some surprising things about hosting these gentlemen. We used to run some Airbnbs, and we ran across a couple of guests that were kind of messy, normal people leave their stuff laying around, whatnot. I had to go into their lodge a couple of times to leave stuff for them, and I was just really surprised at how nice and tidy they are. extremely tight, much more so than we are. And very undemanding. They said, oh, we need a coffee maker, we need this and that, but just like very few things. And just a great group of people. We already have some more hunters booked to come, and we're looking forward to this new venture. This is something completely new for us. We don't know all the terms that they talk about when they tell us about their adventures, but we are learning.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to us that Kansas is loaded with deer. Like, people come from all over the country right here to the center to hunt. And it's funny too, because most people think of Kansas as the plains, like we did. So you assume, well, how many? Well, I guess it's in the song. You do say where the deer and the antelope play,
right?
But on the West Coast especially, there's mountains everywhere and forests. And when you think of deer, you think of the forest. They're all in the forest. Well, there's no forests here, so you just think, well, there can't be very many deer since there's no trees for them to hide in. But they don't necessarily need trees. The plains. People say the plains are flat, but really they're kind of like wavy rolling hills. And there's lots of little low places where they can hang out and hide. And there's apparently some of the biggest deer anywhere can be found right here in Kansas. That's why everybody's coming here to hunt. So we just heard about this from other people and decided a hunting lodge would probably be a good venture, since every hunting season, when you're in town at the restaurants especially, you start seeing license plates from all over, and those are hunters coming here to
Did you say where our
take home a
hunters are
prize.
from?
Oh, ours are from Louisiana. Yep.
Very exciting.
So, yeah, drove all the way to Kansas. That is not a short drive.
And they're impressive in a different way as well, because it was terribly windy today. I can't see how they could possibly hit anything. I think that
they're bow hunters, too.
Right.
Yeah, it would
that
definitely
takes,
be
so much skill.
Yeah, it would definitely be hard, because an arrow is definitely going to be affected by the wind more than a bullet, I would think, because there's a lot more mass to it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. We'll keep you posted.
Yep. Well, that's all that we have time for today. Thank you once again for joining us. Be sure to send in those stories. Send us stories.
Yeah, last month we had, for the first time since we started this, last month was the first month with no stories. So if you would have sent in one story, you would have pocketed the coveted Tumbler.
Oh, so coveted.
So get those stories in. It doesn't take much to win. Plus, it's a great way to promote your channel. Or if you don't have a channel, it's a great way to promote what's going on in your neck of the woods and let the world know what's going on in your town or your village or your homestead or whatever it is that you live. All right. Well, have a wonderful day and God bless.